flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn. It's a new day, it's a new life. And I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on the tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life.
One race remaining in the regular season, and we're live from the Music City, Nashville, Tennessee. We're actually around 35 to 40 minutes from downtown Nashville for this 1 1/3 mile concrete monster of a racetrack. It's not Dover, but it's got that concrete jungle kind of feeling here. Looking forward to getting going at Nashville Super Speedway for some GoatLocker Racing Cruisin Classics Next Gen Series action on Maconi Entertainment. I'm Dylan Coyle, joined alongside Jeremy Briggs. And Jeremy, we've got one race to go here in this very tight regular season. Michael Bennett and George Jewell plus 13 and plus 11 over Corinne Smith and Jim Kaufman minus 11 and minus 12 respectively. These four drivers, I mean, they're fighting for two spots right here. Everybody else is pretty much in.
Good evening. Yes, those four drivers are at it for this one last race. Anything can happen. We're going to have a stout 19-car field at this awesome Nashville Super Speedway. And speaking of that 19-car field, we'll get a quick look at that grid here momentarily. This is going to be an awesome night of racing under the lights here at Nashville.
Under the lights, indeed. We've gone from Daytona to Auto Club, Darlington, Watkins Glen, Homestead, Iowa, Atlanta, Gateway, and Phoenix to get to this 10-race regular season finale race at Nashville. It's also a Dash for Cash race. So the winner will get a $50 bonus. It might be $60. That may have been updated relatively recently. But Jeremy Gardner, Brandon Evans, Charles Stevens, Ryan Pendleton, and Levi McCarty. No, it's Levi McCarty. We need to make sure we're saying Levi McCarty correctly, and we will be doing that except for that one time, Levi McCarthy. But all those 5 drivers are going to be eligible for that cash prize. Whoever finishes above the other 4 will take the entire share. It's the second Dash for Cash race of the season. The first one was at Iowa. So it's just a month after that. I always love these Dash for Cash races. It's a race within the race within the entire regular season finale race.
This race is going to have so many races going on in between it. We're going to have awesome views from our driver camps. It's going to be a great night here. Let's get a look at that Jam Printing Promotions Pole Award given to George Jewell.
And that is a massive Jam Printing and Promotions Pole Award to the 36 machine, because Jewell is sitting in 12th place out of 12 drivers eligible for the playoffs. He'll start alongside Charles Abert in second place. Charles, I don't know if he's hit that minimum participation amount, but a win could be a win and you're in kind of deal for the playoffs for him. Jesse Whittington, James Kaufman, another surprise qualifier up front for Kaufman, 12 points back of George Jewell for that cut line. He's going to start 4th. Blake Edel, Levi McCarty in P6 in row 3. It's Charles Stevens alongside, missed that real quick, but Jason Taylor will be in row 4 with Timothy Wilms alongside him, 7th and 8th place. Charles Stevens and Jacob Ellingson, 9th and 10th, your top 5 rows. Michael Bennett, Timothy Stubblefield, 11th through 12th. While going back to 13th, Bobby Germain, Corinne Smith. Smith needs to get forward quickly to give herself a shot here. Charles Feltz, one of the drivers we have cams on tonight. Brandon Evans, Jeremy Gardner, Patrick Drabick, a few other drivers rounding out the rest of the field. Pace car will be peeling off right now to get going here at Nashville Super Speedway. One race to decide who makes the playoffs. Jewell, a win would clinch his spot in. He needs it badly. He leads the field to green. We are go from Nashville.
Awesome camera angles through here, through turns 1 and 2. Look at the field just spread all the way out across the track. So many different lanes here going down the backstretch.
These drivers make their way around 3 and 4. It gets quite tight on the exit of 4 here. It's got the shape of a 1.5 mile racetrack, but it does just go a little bit tighter on corner exit. It's a smaller track for this kind of shape. These drivers are so used to, those 1.5 mile racetracks that they almost want to get on the throttle a little bit quickly. You can't do that here. This concrete 1.33 mile racetrack does not really allow for you to take those usual lines.
Nashville Super Speedway is definitely a beast of its own, as George Jewell right now, our leader, just set the fastest lap here on lap number 3. Just marking our way through here, the top 5, nicely spread out.
Three wide through 3 and 4, settles itself out to 2 wide on lap 4 of 100 here at Nashville. Fastest lap of the race. George Jewell currently holds it. He's the only one with a clean air out in front. Abert, though, holding him pretty honest, only a few car lengths back. You do have to wonder, though, how hard are they pushing it at this point in the race as Kaufman slides up, almost makes contact with Levi McCarty. All good, though.
Almost answered your questions right there. How hard are they going? They were almost touching doors there through turns 3 and 4. Still side by side through 1 and 2 there for the 12 machine and the 25.
Oh, Kaufman!
Woo! They are definitely wicked tight. This is some great racing here early on.
I mean, it's a flat racetrack, right? It's got a lot of banking, but compared to, I guess you could say, most racetracks It's flat. It's tight. It's a different feeling that the grip of the cars, the tires are just not as there as you're used to. We've seen in qualifying in years past drivers really send it in and hope to just stick it to the bottom to kind of wrap the bottom and get the momentum down the backstretch. Lines will change throughout this race more than you might see other tracks on the schedule.
Excited to see how these lines develop here throughout the night. Right now it's just a cool 71 degrees with a track temperature of only 74, so the concrete has got all the grip right now. The wind's just 6 miles an hour, so nothing too crazy for these drivers. Weather-wise, it's got to beat the competition on the track as Whittington and Kaufman side by side. Oh, Kaufman sideways out of turn 4.
Yeah, Kaufman's putting everything he can to move up quickly through this lineup. It's just going to be difficult for Kaufman, right? Because he's put himself in this situation where he is a number of points back to the cut line, 12 to be specific. With this small amount of drivers in the race, only 19 have entered into the event tonight. It's going to be really difficult to point your way in. It's probably just as difficult to get a race victory here. That would put him into the playoffs. I mean, he's got to be hoping for a prayer right now, especially, I mean, that cutoff line right now is George Jewell. We ride on board, or at least we look in car with Jake Ellingson. Let's talk about Ellingson real quick, because he's had a pretty solid start to races this season, but something always seems to happen as he kind of opens the 94 right there to get alongside him on the exit of 4. Something always seems to happen to Ellingson that takes him out of contention in a miraculous kind of way.
Absolutely right, Dylan. I was going to mention that here sometimes in those broadcasts. Jake Ellingson, he's always up in the top 10, top 5, and just something can happen. Whether it's something he may have made a mistake or it's something out of the bizarre. Like last week at Phoenix, he had a slight blip, maybe a graphical error, I believe is what it was. He was running the top 5 and wrecked it out. So as you can see, as we got the awesome onboard shot, one of the drivers providing us with onboard real-life cameras tonight, Jacob Ellingson in that Lincoln Tech machine.
We've got a few of them tonight. Patrick Drabick, another one of them in the 07 machine. Drabick, a driver who has been through a lot of the excitement this season. He's got himself 2 wins, tied with Gardner and Evans, the two teammates, as Kaufman again gets tight and up into the wall. Kaufman is just hemorrhaging positions right now.
As we ride on board there with Patrick, I believe he is shifting here at Nashville, so that adds a whole another element. Look at that, Brandon Evans, another driver. He's got the full motion sim brake. Look at him bouncing around. It just goes to show you the multiple characteristics of what these cars are going through here. As you can see, Brandon Evans trying to go up to 6th place. These drivers that are marching through just in the top 10, they started into the back. They did not take qualifying times, and they are just marching through the field.
Yeah, and it's almost, as you see Levi McCarty get that 29.538 time set. Brandon Evans laughing about something through his cam. Wonder if he knows that we were just watching him have a good giggle right there. Drabick starts to roll through the field a little bit more. Evans currently in 6th place. You know, you got to remember the drivers who are contending for that Dash for Cash here tonight. Only 4 of them are in the field tonight. Ryan Pendleton not racing, so he's not going to have an opportunity to get that cash prize. Levi McCarty, by the way, just made a pass for the race lead. George Jewell back to 2nd.
No better way to secure your way to get that dash for cash than just winning the race, because that means you know there was nobody else in front of you that could take that money from you. Grab that win and that money. Let's take a quick look at the replay for that pass.
We joined a little bit after the pass had already happened, but Jewell, remember, the concern was how hard was he pushing it early in the run? I think the answer right to that question, Jeremy, is quite hard because he is starting to lose spots pretty easily.
Racing is starting to get good. A lot of drivers starting to fall off now. Just 16 laps into this race. If you're pushing hard, you're starting to fall towards the back, and you might have to cool your tires off here for a couple laps. These drivers got a few sets in the pits. They will have to make one pit stop, at least.
Charles Abert got a little bit high through 3 and 4. Jewel took away his line right there on corner entry. Abert opened up the door for the 60 of Jason Taylor to get a run and get some momentum. Remember, Abert was also pushing hard at the start of this race, still pushing hard. He's trying to get that back end to stop wiggling so much. I mean, the more that these drivers push, the more that you make contact with the wall, like we just saw with Abert right there, and he came down quickly to block the run from Jason Taylor. Wild things happening here at Nashville Superspeedway. Glad that everybody is tuned in tonight. Remember, this is the Cruisin Classics Next Gen Series, and Cruisin Classics is the title sponsor of GLR's Wednesday series, and it houses hundreds of unique automobiles within a 56,000 square foot showroom in Columbus, Ohio. One of the best collections of muscle cars and classic cars for sale in the U.S. There's something for everybody when you come to visit. Jason Taylor hopes there's something for him in P3, and I would say he got that fairly easily once he got underneath the 7.
That was an awesome drone shot, I believe, down the front stretch. I believe we got our Maconi Entertainment drone out this week here at Nashville. Great shot. As you can see, Jacob Ellingson, he's trying to get himself in the P4, but look no further right behind him. You've got Brandon Evans, one of our winningest drivers here this season.
Oh, Ellingson almost got a little bit squirrely right there. I think there might have been contact between he and Evans. Nonetheless, we race on. Right now, the top 7 are certainly in their own group right there. Drabic makes some contact with Charles Abert, who is starting to fall back mightily here. All of a sudden, I mean, Abert was right behind Jewel just a few laps ago and has fallen back mightily as we ride with the I guess this would be the real world cam. I don't like saying in-car cam because
I know, right? You don't want to lead them off into another world, yeah.
Right, because this is the in-car cam is in the cockpit of the car itself. This is the pointing at Patrick Drabic camera. I don't know what we should call it. Let's put it up to a
live look-in. I don't know.
I love it. Live look-in. That's the winner here. The live look-in on Patrick Drabic here around this 1.33 mile circuit. All right. Well, you were saying a little bit earlier, Jeremy, that these drivers will have to pit once, and that is certainly the case. I mean, unless you're Joey Logano and can make it around 120 miles on a single tank of fuel at Nashville, which I don't know how that was even possible to begin with.
On fuel from somewheres.
I mean, hey, sometimes you're able to push it really, really far. These drivers can take it to probably, I would say, lap 75 on fuel. The question is, how many will go halfway? Because that does leave a wide range open for if there's a caution or something else, for just bad things to happen. You get caught a lap down and you have to take the wave around. You're suddenly in the back of the field. Who knows? Ellingson watches as underneath as Brandon Evans tries to make the move into 1. Ellingson defending on the outside, Jeremy.
Evans continues that march forward, now in the top 5, trying to make himself up into the top 4. Inside of that Lincoln Tech machine, trying to get just past him. It looks like he's going to clear him off of 4. That's another spot for Evans with her live looking as looks like he's going to go for another spot, trying to get to the outside of George Jewell here into turns 1 and 2. He's making it look easy, starting from the back. I feel like a second lane might be starting to come in here.
Oh, that's awesome. Just trying to make the runs one after another. Now Ellingson's going to look for a go on the 36 of Jewell. Jewell's equipment has been used up. Patrick Drabick sits in the wings. It's not completely clear sailing for Ellingson yet, but I think he's going to be able to clear him going into one. We'll see here. A fight back from Jewell on the outside, but way too wide. I think Ellingson, actually, no. What a really solid job
See what
from
I mean? That top line's coming in.
You're absolutely right about that. You call it one lap ago. Top lane, at least through 1 and 2, it's starting to show itself. Maybe not as much in 3 and 4. Ellingson is able to clear him right there and get into the wall a bit.
And yeah, just a little kiss there on that wall, just to finish that pass off. But yeah, for some reason it feels like they're starting to make those passes a little bit here in 1 and 2, in the top lane, maybe sustaining a little bit more than expected there with the tire wear, as we're already a quarter of the way through this race. Now 27 laps on the lap counter there, getting around 3 and 4. Should see 28 here very shortly. These drivers are all over the place. This is really great racing to see.
Yeah, it really, really is. These drivers are not letting anyone kind of get too far in front. This battling here from Drabick now with George Jewell. Jewell's really holding strong, although blinking just a bit on the outside. He's making it work compared to a driver like Charles Abert, who fell back quite a bit. Abert has now, I would say, stabilized his position, and I wonder if he was holding back a little bit and now is going to have a go on Jewell.
The field is still pretty close in my opinion. 13th place is still within 4.5 seconds of our leader. 29 laps into this green flag run. So honestly, it feels like the field's pretty even, and the passes are probably getting pretty harder because everybody's just so close, and that dirty air hurts. And Brandon Evans is just making it look easy. As you can see, Drabick there now in the top 5, running in the 5th position. Looking at our lap times, Evans, one of the fastest ones on the track.
Brandon Evans, it doesn't matter how much he's got to push early on. He can start from the back and just move on through the field like no one is worrying about his starting position. It's pretty impressive, you know. It's not about where you start, it's about where you finish, but you should put yourself in a good spot when you start to get that good finish. And George Jewell is fighting back now. Drabick went quite tight. He pushed up high towards the wall on the exit of 4. It's reopened the door for George Jewell to fight back down the inside. He was making it work on the outside. Now he's trying to make it work on the inside, and he etches just in front. We'll see if he's able to clear him through the more dominant low line in 3 and 4. But Jewell pushes tight and makes contact with the 07.
Oh boy. This is that's our Maconi race analysis there. It is 3 tire changes here tonight. There we go, 100 laps, and it's a Maconi fixed setup. NASCAR Next Gen. Of course, now we're finally here. 30 laps into the event, but we appreciate that. It was quick going to get to this race. Look at this, 4 cars under a blanket.
4 cars under a queen-sized blanket right now. If you want to stretch it out a little bit more, the entire pack. I would say the top 3 under a California king-size blanket. These 4 or 5, though, under a queen-size blanket. Abert, Jewell, the 2 cars that led the field at the green. Well, I'll tell you what, they are struggling, but somehow still making it work on the bottom.
Still tons of side-by-side battling here as we look on the nose.
Jewell is really not holding tight against that bottom line. He loses and scrubs off some speed right there. And Gardner taking a peek, can't find the room. Jewell pushes tight once again. And, I mean, I don't know how he's able to keep this car as quick as it has been, but I do wonder, I keep saying it, right? He's used up his stuff, but just how long is it going to take for that to be true? I think now might be the answer.
I don't want to be the one here to jinx it, but might be looking at maybe thinking about splitting this race in half. Was we're getting close to lap 50 here. We'll see if these drivers decide any strategies.
It's not a bad move. Not a bad idea. Is Drabic goes too wide with Jesse Whittington. And because they go too wide, Jeremy Gardner has some speed, but he can't make it 3 wide. That's a dangerous proposition here at Nashville. Drabic pushes tight, loses time, has Gardner underneath, and now they're 2 wide going into 3. Whittington goes 5 car lengths ahead. Oh, be careful. Gardner slides up. Drabic still making contact with each other. These cars, they're racing bad. Oh, no, they're racing good.
Oh, man, Drabek's going to lose probably 3 positions right here. He's going to have a ton of battling back to do. He probably had to get on the gas right there. Extremely tight racing off of turn 4.
I mean, if you want to see where the caution's going to come, it's going to come from this group of cars. They are racing like no tomorrow. Blake Edel, we haven't talked about him that much in the race here tonight, but he is at the tail end of this mini pack, and he's starting to march his way through it side by side with Patrick Drabic as we work on lap 38 of 100. Down on the bottom. Did he clear him? He almost clears. Spotter says you're good. He is clear. By the way, Brandon Evans is only 3/10 back of race leader Levi McCarty in that 12 machine. Both of them already in the playoffs. However, remember, this is a battle for some money as Jason Taylor brings it down into the pits. This is a different strategy than I feel like we're going to see from any of the field.
If you can't beat him, sometimes you got to do a different strategy. Jason Taylor coming to pit road or just before lap 40. As I was getting ready to say right now, Jesse Whittington was one of the fastest drivers, and Jeremy Gardner fastest that time by on the track.
So for Jason Taylor coming into the pits now, he's going to be able to easily make it to the checkered flag, even if it stays under green. I guess he's wanting to do a massive undercut. We'll see how it works for the driver in the 60 machine. I don't know if it's obviously not the popular move, but it is going to be a move that I wonder how it's going to pay off at the end of this race. By the way, George Jewell, who was pushing heavy early on, he got the Jam Printing and Promotions Pull Award. And Jam Printing and Promotions is a veteran-certified organization that contributes printing and promotional sponsorships to more than 60 local nonprofits, with a primary focus on organizations that assist veterans, women, and children. Jam is GLR's go-to promotional company. Battle for the lead. It's really starting to rage like a fire.
Looking at our lap times now, we're about a half a second, just over a half a second on fall off right now. So we'll have to see how those tires play out here for the number 60 machine as this battle for the lead is on. Brandon Evans a 10th faster that last time on the McCarty machine. How long can McCarty hold him off? This is also for the cash, the money, the Dash for Cash battle.
And the question is, will these drivers have very different strategies in the pits as we go to a little bit more of a business meeting between drivers going out of turn 4? Hey, sometimes they make contact, sometimes they're right next to each other. All the time, though, they're just exchanging business cards and pleasantries. It's Charles Stevens in the 84 machine. He is 4th out of 4 eligible Dash for Cash drivers in the race today. He's having a rough go of it. Tyler Justice in that 33 machine is alongside Stevens right now, down on the inside. That's a bomb pop machine for sure.
Great looking machine as well. Tyler Justice started, I believe he started caboose on the field, so up to 12th, battling for 11th. Trying to continue that march to the front, doing a good job at that. As we look right here, the battle for lead still continues on. Brandon Evans giving the heat to Levi McCarty.
Yeah, Evans is he's definitely putting in the work, but the time has tapered off just a tad. He got to around 2200th back of the 12 machine. Tries a different line, the middle groove. It's definitely starting to find some speed up there. Not a lot, though, did he gain, if anything, through 1 and 2. That time by goes back down to that lower groove. We'll keep you updated as this race, as this first stint rages on, as Gardner slides up in front of the 27 of Jacob Ellingson. Right now it's a battle for 4th place.
Ellingson back to 5th. Gardner continuing his march to the front. Just behind there of Jesse Whittington. Whittington driving that black and blue machine this week. Always going to keep our broadcasting eyes peeled because he's always got a different scheme every week, which, don't mind, it's pretty sweet to see. Just got to be ready for it. And they're always unique, so it's kind of easy at the same time because you just got an idea what he's going to bring. As we look at this battle, still side by side there, just behind the 84 machine of Charles Stevens.
All right, so Michael Bennett is in this battle right now, currently swapping positions down in 12th place. He just lost one spot. He's going to lose another spot. He got way too tight through 1 and 2 right there, so he's back in 13th position right now. Bennett came into this race plus 13. Oh, and he's coming into the pits. I wonder if that was a late call.
It was really late. I didn't hear anything over the radio. It was really close to drivers behind him, but Bennett takes the hard left, trying to make something happen here.
All right, so almost at the halfway point. Timothy Stubblefield also in the pits. Remember, no drivers pitted in this race except for Jason Taylor up to this point. He pitted 10 laps ago. He's good to go till the end of this race. Almost halfway through, we've been green flag running ever since the drop at the start. More drivers coming into the pits. Bennett, of course, went in earlier. Kaufman, Timothy Wilms has dove down to pit road. This is an interesting battle amongst everybody in this field. If it goes green the rest of the way, strategy, it's as long as the drivers, there's a lot of strategy to be able to play with, depending on where you've kind of made your bet. If you decide to push really hard, really early, you're not going to be able to go 70, 75 laps on the tires without screaming for dear mercy. So you've kind of made your bed to go at the halfway point. Some drivers might have been just kind of hanging in the back, going a little bit later with an overcut. I don't know if that's the right move. An undercut, it might be a right move like Jason Taylor did if the cards drop in his favor later in this race. Say there's cautions that come at lap 80, lap 90. He might be in a better way. I'm not sure. We're gonna have to wait to see how this race kind of shakes out. And by the way, you're watching it on Maconi Entertainment. And Maconi Setup Shop and Maconi Entertainment is the official setup shop of eNASCAR and your home for setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, event promotion, and more on iRacing. Visit MaconiSetupShop.com for more information.
Looking at that battle, that pit strategy flip, Jason Taylor has got himself almost 5 seconds in front of Jesse Whittington. I believe he was behind Jesse Whittington coming to pit road. So we'll have to see how that flip works as he continues that march. He's setting pretty decent lap times. Or was setting. Oh, we got a yellow. We got a crash.
Oh, Jacob Ellingson. No. He is upset. It's another race. You see that frustration from him. I don't think you need a translator to know what he said right there. That is probably race over for the 27 machine. Just past the halfway point, some drivers have already come down to the pits. Let's see what happened. Oh, what is Blake Edel doing?
Oh.
George Jewell got hit.
Oh, no. George Jewell involved as well.
Oh, man, we'll see another replay on that one, and here is a replay. So, Ellingson, I think Edel, they're both on the same set of tires. Edel just has a good run here. Takes a little look to the inside. It's not open. Ellingson slides up just a tad. Edel just drives through him. That's ridiculous.
Ellingson coming to pit road?
I don't think so. He was there's no way he was coming to pit road at that point. If he did make a call for it, fine, sure. I don't think he was going to pit road. If he was going to pit road, even if he wasn't, it depends. Did he make a call? My goodness, that's a massive mistake. Another race with Ellingson not finishing it. Unfortunate. And this is going to really majorly impact playoff chances for George Jewell. Jewell's out. Oh, goodness me.
Yeah,
everyone down pit road.
Jewell is out.
Oh, boy. Well, we'll try and kind of reassess the playoff situation in just a few moments with Jewell. I mean, you'd think he has to get as many repairs as he can to just get points in this race, as Levi McCarty wins the race off of pit road. Jeremy Gardner gets to P2. Patrick Drabick, Blake Edel, Charles Abert, your top 5. Bobby Germain getting an end-of-line penalty here, so he'll start at the back of the pack. So is Blake Edel, and I wonder if Edel's getting the penalty from that in-race moment or from an infraction on pit road.
We'll have to keep an eye on that number 18 machine and see if he makes that march back towards the front, as we'll see what happens with the pace car this time as we come to the start-finish line. See if we
We've got some information, by the way. Jacob Ellingson, you're right. He was coming to pit road. He called that he was coming down the pit road, and Blake Edel just wasn't paying attention. That's
okay. I thought he was really slow coming out of 4 there. It just happened so fast, you know.
It did, and if you make the call that you're going and you're holding that low line, he did drift up a tiny bit, but not even close to enough to it being an actual problem. I mean, that's on. Edel's got to recognize that he's coming to pit road. He called it. So we're going back to Green Flag Racing. I believe next time by, lights are off on the pace car. Yes, indeed, that is the situation. Jewell's 36 machine is toast. He's out of the race. That's massive, because now the point situation opens up for a driver like Jim Kaufman, for a driver like Corinne Smith. Jewell was 11 points to the good on Smith, 12 points to the good on Jim Kaufman. 1 point per position, so that means finishing 18th to not have to worry about it being a tie. Kaufman would have to finish in, I believe, 5th place, and Smith in 6th place. Kaufman's back in 16th, though, and Corinne Smith is up in 5th. Green flag back out into the air on lap 58 of 100. Levi McCarty to lead the way. So many dramatic storylines still to play out.
Whew. As we finally get back to racing action just past the halfway mark. First 8 cars right now single file into turns 3 and 4, being led by the number 12 machine in the hunt for that dash for cash, the leader of the race and the dash for cash.
Goodness me. We're also hearing that because of Jewell leading laps, he got a bonus point 4 laps led. So if that is the case, that's helping him pretty much turn an 18th place day into a 17th place day. We'll have to, of course, it's nothing right after the race is official until we hear it from series organizers. But right now, Jewell would be in by the skin of his teeth. Jim Kaufman has to get going. Corinne Smith has to not lose positions as we work to lap 59, I should say, of 100 here.
And if you're looking to see who those Dash for Cash drivers are, just look to that ticker up there, the leaderboard. You'll see them highlighted in green, just at their running position there to keep track of the drivers currently running for that Dash for Cash. All of them right now in the top 10. As the lead, though, the 07 of Drebeck, one of the drivers not in the Dash for Cash, looking to secure himself with another victory here, as Charles Abert just ran his fastest lap and the fastest lap of the race with a 29.47, running right there in 4th position.
Well, Another thing that, as we take a look at the 33 machine of Justice, a really awesome paint scheme, Rogue Energy right there. It screams 4th of July as a kid wanting some popsicles, as Levi McCartney. Oh, I can too. Sets the fastest lap of the race, a full 10th up on earlier fastest laps of the race. Gardner got into the wall in the exit of 2. I say, faster. It really is faster. More rubber has been laid down. And here's another thing, Jeremy. These drivers know they don't have to go 50-plus laps to make it to the end of this race. All they've got to worry about is making the tires last just over 40 laps. That's an easy run compared to what they were kind of looking at previously. And, this is the kind of race you want to have up on your TV at Nasty's Restaurant and Bar, the co-sponsor of GLR's Wednesday series. It's based in Hilliard, Ohio, and hosts numerous fundraisers with the goal of advancing veteran-based sim racing. I know you're watching, Nasty's patrons. Raise a glass. Do you think they raise a glass? It's a command.
Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do. We'll have to find out. We'll have to reach out some days. Brandon Evans just set down a heater of a lap. I believe before that caution flag, really tight racing there. Man, drivers are making desperate moves now because they know it's go time. We were running 29.6s for fastest laps before. Now drivers are down to 29.3s.
Oh, big hit for Taylor. Sorry to cut you off right there, but there's a big hit on the right-hand side of that race car. The 60 machine went into the outside wall on the exit of 4, got very tight, and I wouldn't be surprised if that car has a substantial amount of damage. These cars can take a beating, though.
Jason Taylor is our Season 6 defending champion. Found himself 53 points above the cutoff line, but no wins yet for our defending champion. We'll have to see what he can do once he gets into the playoffs, though. It's going to be go time. These drivers in the front. Oh, contact there for Smith. And I believe that's going to be Brandon Evans making contact together.
Goodness me, some more contact for sure. Corinne Smith doing all she can, really squeezing the 39 of Brandon Evans. Good, hard racing between those two drivers. Smith needs to stay as far up as she can. If she finishes in 6th place, there is an opportunity. The door then appears to be open, or at least cracked open, for her to make it into the playoffs, whether that's with a tie or 1 point ahead. 1 point per position, remember. You do get some bonus points for certain things in this series, leading laps. One of them, George Jewell, of course, led a few laps in the beginning of this race. And being up 11 points, you have to also think about tiebreakers and the like. Smith in 7th, I think, is 1 point back of Jewell if we're talking about 1 bonus point for a lap led. Just chaos, drama, 33 laps to go at the stripe.
Is it crazy to think that George Jewell leading a lap may keep him in the playoffs?
He also got the pole. I mean,
yeah.
He put in the work.
Yep. I mean, what a night to do it, and to have the misfortune like he did right there. I just felt like George Jewell was going to have a better night than that, but we'll have to see how it shakes out there on the track, as it looks like Corinne Smith losing a couple more spots right there. Nope, she's just battling side by side there with the number 94 of Jessie Whittington. That is for 7th and 8th.
This is one of her better showings in the season so far. Oh, as she really came out wide on entry to 1. I think she wanted to make it as wide as possible, but swung out a little bit too much to the right. May have made some contact with the 94 of Whittington, concedes a spot, gets really tight into 3 and 4, and now she is seeming to hold up a few drivers back there, trying to make that car as wide as possible. She's struggling, though, right now.
Sometimes when you're getting past, it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. You just can't get your car recollected up and get the tires cooled off, and they just keep attacking you. And it just seems to be just like everybody's just around her right now. But we'll see how it plays out. They'll got about 30 laps to go as we come to the line this time.
30 laps to go. No green flag stops expected here. Is there 2x1 for this pack of drivers? Jason Taylor took a peek to the inside, to the middle of 3. It's just inside the top 10. Patrick Drabick getting chased by Jeremy Gardner. This is for second place. Drabick is in second. The Gardner 57 save 22 machine is in third with Levi McCarty. Curly P1, 3 wide. Corinne Smith, she gets put into the middle, gets tight, cars into the wall. All good for now. She's seeing her playoff hopes take massive hits every time she gets past.
It was right there. You could just it was just so close. Oh, somebody made contact with the wall there off
Taylor.
of turn 2. It was Jason Taylor running in the 8th position. Jason Taylor was one of those drivers that took a pit there and was trying to flip the strategy. Unfortunately, that untimely caution kind of put a dividend to that. So Jason Taylor finds himself in 8th place, trying to make that march back to the front. See if he can gather up some more spots. He should be okay getting himself into the playoffs, but who doesn't want to win here, right?
I mean, right. Who doesn't want to win? And if you're not confirmed in the playoffs, you're going to do anything you can to win a race. More cars making contact with the outside wall on the exit of 4. It closes up in a very quick instant as Smith is getting shoved back into 10th. She's about to fall outside the top 10. She got very loose way to the bottom of the track. Make that 12th.
It just keeps getting a little bit worse and worse the more we talk about it, I think. And we're going to go look back up front, though. Tyler Justice right there in 6th place, just outside the top 5. Charles Abert right there in 5th, just in front of them. The 94 of Jesse Whittington, the 3rd car in that battle, running in the 7th position right now. Charles Stevens just in the distance there, running in 8th, and in front of this battle, you got Brandon Evans starting to creep in on our leaders. Look further back there. Looks like that is Michael Bennett and that number 19 machine battling real hard with Charles Stevens.
I mean, Bennett is not completely out of the woods either if he has an incident that puts him out of the race, like with what happened to George Jewell. It again opens up the door for other drivers to take advantage of some misfortune. However, it's still a 12, 13-point gap, really, that we're seeing. So that means a top 5 finish has to be in the cards for a driver like Smith or Kaufman to be able to make the playoffs, and that just does not look like it's going to happen here as we look from the press box here at Nashville Superspeedway with 23 laps and some change remaining. Some good racing here. Blake Edel, Charles Stevens. This is for a 10th place spot.
Great battles, lap after lap. This Nashville race is really just kind of taking us to a whole nother level of great racing. And of course, GoatLocker never disappoints, and they are definitely showing what they can do here tonight. And they're making the high line kind of work a couple times here and there, and it's just great to see them make this track so versatile when it is extremely challenging with it being concrete and flat, but they just got tons of grip with that lower track temperatures. And speaking of grip, that lead starting to shrink a little bit for Levi McCarty.
Patrick Drabick has been sitting in the wings, and if you're McCarty, another win gives you a better shot to get out of the round of 12. However, maybe living to fight another day if Drabick gets right to you. You want to win the race. How much are you thinking as a driver about that dash for cash? I'm assuming very little. At least when you're fighting for the win.
Never thought of it. Nope, doesn't cross your mind. We'll have to see how it plays out, though, as Drabick is really starting to move in there. It was 2/10 faster lap before. Now they've kind of closed in their lap times this time. Gardner, though, he was the fastest. As we look at Jesse Whittington right here, making his move into the top 5, trying to get inside of Tyler Justice.
Two good-looking race cars right there, both Camaro Z01s, the 94 down to the inside, the 33 of Justice on the outside, and the 94 licks the stamp, sends it into one, gets the position, clears. Will there be a switchback going into three? The momentum is held by the 33 of Justice, but just not enough to get back to the 94's left rear. Cool little view right here.
I use the onboard cameras watching it on the HBO Max app or like through Prime, and this is exactly what it looks like when I'm watching it on my tablet. That shot right there.
I'll give you a little bit of inside knowledge. I watch it too on Sundays when I'm not at the racetrack for GoatLocker Racing. And I'll usually, if you see any in-car clips being posted from a cup race on the GoatLocker Racing account, I'm usually called upon from my home in North Carolina to get some help to our social media team there.
There's a lot that happens on those cameras that I love that NASCAR has put these cameras on so many cars, and it just really adds another level of seeing what happens on the track, and it's just awesome as the fan to have the accessibility to so many cameras on my end, because I don't have the NASCAR insight like you do, so just having that somewhat accessibility is just nice.
As a live cam, hey, I'm paying for it too. It's some access that even people in the industry now get to see live and easily accessible. Like you said, you see a lot more than you'd expect to see. Sometimes those cameras don't turn off for a few minutes once a car that's retiring is in the garage. So interesting things. I've genuinely had to remind all of our crew members to be careful about what they say or do whenever they're near the car, because those cams are there and those cams are live, and people can see some unsavory things if people choose to do unsavory things in front of a camera.
Speaking of in front of a camera, lots of driver cameras tonight.
We do.
Appreciate all those drivers doing those cameras, and appreciate Howie working hard to get those all set up to work for our drivers. As you can see there, Charles Feltz running the 16th position in his number 75 machine, just chugging along, still on the lead lap, having a decent run.
What's up, brother? It's not the Hulk Hogan phrase, but what's the phrase that Hulk Hogan does?
Yeah, brother.
Yeah, brother. Oh, gosh, I'm going to be yelled at for that one. Gardner down the inside. Easy does it on the move at Drabick. Drabick will try a switchback, but way too high means into the wall. Patrick goes in the 07. Gardner is unleashed to go after Levi McCarty with 14 laps to go here.
Ryback got to the back bumper almost there of Levi McCarty, and it just could not get through that dirty air, and
I just hear
fell back. Oops.
Levi.
Added it back to the mix.
Levi McCarty doing a really, really solid job right now, holding this lead, but I do have a bit of concern for McCarty since Gardner's gone by Drabick much faster the last lap, around a tenth faster, and now that gap is shrinking even more. It's one thing to catch, it's another thing to pass, especially at a flatter 1.33 mile racetrack like Nashville is.
This battle is not only going to be for the race win, but also for the dash for cash. Coming around to 12 laps to go. Let's see what the lap times are this time as they come across the start-finish line. Gardner still 0.2 faster than the McCarty machine. Mowing him down. Insert the Jaws music here.
Insert the Jaws music for sure. Brandon Evans trying to move up from fourth up to this top three battle. I don't know if there's enough time, though, because he is 3.5 seconds back off of Drabick for third. Gardner, is this the lap that we see a swap of leaders? It might be. I mean, look at that gap. It keeps coming down. It's 0.2, 1/10, side by side. Easy does it. Is it going to be a Gardner machine? The 57 in front. McCarty fighting back on the outside. It doesn't matter for now. McCarty did have momentum because Gardner pushed tight. A bit of a block from Gardner and back up a bit of a block. It was a 2 for kind of move from the 57. Goes way up high through 1 and 2. Open up the door again for the 12 to come back and fight down the backstretch.
12 machine of McCarty battling strong to the inside of Gardner. Gardner got there quickly, but McCarty not letting him get away as these two drivers continue to battle side by side, slowing themselves down. Look no further than the 07 machine of Patrick Drevick marching his way up there. Can he make something happen? Then we got 3.5 seconds back there to Brandon Evans. Can he march his way in? But we've only got 8.5 laps to go.
It is a 3-car battle for the lead. Brandon Evans, because of this battling, has been able to pull a second closer to the leader. We'll see if he has anything to say about this. By the time things are done, caution is about to come out, is it not? The 94 is around, spun out, went onto the track. How is there no caution for that?
They stayed below the racing surface there. Just enough.
Wild. So
there's the yellow.
Yellow flag is out. I wonder if that was called manually. I mean, Whittington was certainly backed up to that inside groove, which is why I'm surprised that there was no caution called. But now there is. And let's look at the replay. Uh-oh. Jason Taylor. Is this going to be a Taylor dive? A bit of a dive to the inside. This is not the corner. It happens. Coming out of 2. Ooh, no contact.
Really tight racing late into this race. There it is.
Oh, boy. Oh. I think Taylor just misjudged that. That's where I was surprised the caution was not called.
Really tight racing and unfortunate ending though for the 94.
94 might have come down the slightest amount.
It was like two cars going for the same spot almost, you know. Just wasn't there. And
racing
quick,
incident.
Back to live action. We're on pit road.
But guess who's staying out? It looks like Corinne Smith. She is the one driver to stay out on the track while everyone else comes down pit road. I mean, Smith is probably going to be swallowed up on the restart, but if she can cause some chaos here, I mean, she's giving herself a shot, and that's what matters.
Ooh, this is going to be really hard racing at the front. She's going to have 40-plus laps on her tires. Gonna have to try to fight out the field. She needs to finish 6th or better to try to give her a chance at getting into the playoffs.
Jeremy Gardner first out of the pits, and yeah, that's an unofficial statement right there. Mostly because Jules 11 points up on Smith. We're seeing Jason Taylor is getting a penalty for that incident, maybe a little bit harsh right there, but nonetheless. The deal is 11 points is the difference between Jewel and Smith. And we're not even thinking about a tiebreaker mentality. We're thinking you have to be clear. So it needs to be a 12-point swing, which would mean Smith would need to finish 6th. However, bonus points might be in play for that pole position and lap lead for Jewel. We're saying to be safe.
Corinne just led a lap as well.
Yeah, Corinne Smith just did lead a lap. That's a great point. So that takes that point kind of away from George Jewell. What a smart strategy call right there. So, I mean, it kind of equals out, right? So, a top 5, and Smith might be in the playoffs. She's going to have to hold on for dear life, though, with 4 laps to go. I don't think she's going to be able to hold on unless there's some crazy things that happen. She might spin the tires, but it doesn't matter. She's got that bonus point. Might as well throw everything at the table here.
Got to go for it. If you want to be in the playoffs, you're this close. I love the strategy. You never know. Anything can happen with the battling behind you.
It all comes down to 4 laps here. Will we go 4 laps at Green Flag Racing? Will we have overtime? The pace car goes off track. Corinne Smith did not come into the pits. She will lead the field to green right now. Oh, she spins the tires. Does not get going well and sends everybody else kind of scattering up and down throughout the front stretch. Goes into one. Brandon Evans and Jeremy Gardner, the 2 teammates. Oh, there's contact. Smith tried to block off Brandon Evans. Gardner slides down to the inside. Caution is out. Another car. It's Kaufman in the back of the field. The other driver who needed to have a good run to make it. There's that chaos.
I believe Corinne Smith looked like she was just trying to make the turn, but all the fresh tires behind her were full throttle going to make that turn. Unfortunately, she was on the losing end of that stick.
Now she's kind of got no... I mean, the closing speed is so great. Smith, I guess you've got to realize that if you're the 10 machine, that even though there's a gap there for her...
Kaufman, another playoff contender in there.
Even if there is that gap right there for Smith to, as you're entering the corner, the speed difference is so massive. I'd be pretty upset if I'm Jeremy Gardner. You understand the desperation, though. I mean, right there, they're side by side, and there's nowhere lower that Brandon Evans can go. Smith's, the door's already been well pushed through, and Smith tries to shut it late. I like the strategy idea. Kaufman, huge hits. That's race over and playoff hopes over for the 25 machine. Smith, though, she's still in the race. I guess you just come into the pits, or do you stay out there and still hope things shake out? I mean, you have no speed compared to the rest of the field, but she's still on track.
We're going to have 2 green-white checkered attempts. Can we get quick cautions for her to survive? We'll have to find out.
The problem is there was a caution after 2 corners, and she fell 5 spots. So I don't know. I don't know what the right move is. I almost feel like you're almost in a no-win situation here, because you know you're going to get swallowed up quickly. You're just hoping for chaos in front of you to maybe capitalize on. But I mean, if you go into the pits, you're kind of admitting defeat to the earlier strategy. We take a look at the playoff situation. This is the final regular season race, and Michael Bennett is pretty much in 8th place, 13 points to the good over Corinne Smith coming into this one. He, I believe, could finish in, goodness me, plus 13 points. There'd need to be a 13-point swing. He could finish in 13th and still be good. Tyler Justice, by the way, an end of line penalty. He asked for that.
Interesting. Gonna move. Looks like everybody up a row.
So pace lights are off on the pace car. We appreciate everybody watching on Maconi Entertainment. Quick run through of some of our partners here with GoatLocker Racing, Lincoln Tech, Hidden Wit Brewery, Invets, Glove Station, Operation Valor Racing, Red Beard Design Company, Save 22, and above the Yellow Line Media, of course, Nasty's Restaurant and Bar, Jam Printing and Promotions, Maconi Setup Shop and Entertainment, and of course the title sponsor, Cruisin Classics. We thank you all for your involvement with GoatLocker Racing and the broadcast on Maconi Entertainment. 2 laps to decide the regular season champion, the playoff picture going into the round of 12, the Dash for Cash winner. So many things to be decided in the next 2 2/3 miles. Green flag in the air. Brandon Evans. A great jump for Evans. Levi McCarty, no help on the inside line.
Oh, 12 of McCarty gets extremely loose. The Drybeck drives up tight off of 2. They're still side by side down the backstretch. Jesse Whittington trying to make the move. He was just in one of our cautions not just too long ago.
And Corinne Smith up to 6th place. She's right in front of Jeremy Gardner. Gardner gave her no love. They make more contact. 3 wide. White flag is out. It's all Brandon Evans' race.
Brandon Evans has nothing to worry about. The next flag will end it. Whittington clears for 3rd. He'll put himself on the podium. Can McCarty get back there and try to put himself back on the podium? Here we go out of turns 3 and 4.
Brandon Evans, a perfect restart. No harm, no foul. Dash for cash winner, race winner. They cross the line, drivers scattering, and it's the 39 machine who gets the dub, and that's the regular season over.
Wow.
So many,
great race.
so many storylines right there to end it all. And we're pretty positive George Jewell, even though 48 laps down, Jewell will make the playoff picture as Evans, Drabick, and Whittington are your podium finishers. We're going to take a quick break here on Maconi Entertainment and be back with your final results, your potential playoff picture, as well as your podium interviews.
Superior quality, ultimate protection, and the highest level of craftsmanship. We make our gloves for the hard worker that wakes up every morning and gives 110%. You deserve the highest quality protective gear that's going to work for you, day in, day out. We know it can be tough deciding what companies to trust for your hard-earned money. It's all in our name. We've mastered our craft to help you master yours. We make our gloves rugged, durable, and designed for you. Whatever the job is, we have you covered. We are your glove station.
A thriving job market and low cost of living, plus a wide range of veteran benefits, make Indiana the perfect place for veterans of the United States military to call home. InVets can help you find that home. We're an organization started by veterans to help former service members transition to civilian life in our state. InVets can help you find the community with the career opportunities, housing, schools, and amenities that fit your lifestyle. To learn more about InVets, visit us at invets.org today.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
There is a reason that Maconi Setup Shop is partnered with more real-world tracks and companies, including Junior Motorsports, than any other group on the iRacing service.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Back to Maconi Entertainment. Let's take a look at the race results. After 102 laps, we had overtime here at Nashville Superspeedway. Brandon Evans wins it in that 39 machine. Patrick Drabick, Jesse Whittington, your podium. We'll have discussions with all of them in a few moments here. Charles Stevens, Levi McCarty, your top 5, while Jeremy Gardner, Michael Bennett, Charles Abert, Jason Taylor, and Timothy Williams finish in the top 10 positions here. Continuing on down the order, Corinne Smith, she tried something. It did not work out, but she did gain some positions there. She finishes in 11th, but out of the playoff picture Blake Edel, Timothy Stubblefield, Bobby Germain, James Kaufman, Charles Feltz, and Tyler Justice. Your lead lap finishers, George Jewell finishes 49 laps down, Jacob Ellingson 50 laps down, and somehow finishing 103 laps down after only 102 laps is our producer, Howie Burrows in P20. We just moved past him. All right, we're going to talk to all of our podium finishers right now as these drivers are ready to go here in the booth. And first up, of course, we've got to go with the race winner in Brandon Evans. Brandon, another race victory for you. And this one, it wasn't a dominant victory, but it was one where you were at the right spot at the right time.
Yeah, timing is everything, right? Not for sure, not the way I wanted to win it. I kind of screwed myself there. Well, for one, we all did the back to front challenge because we were supposed to do it. I think was it Phoenix, and we didn't do it. But several of us did that this race just to have make it more interesting. But yeah, I got to 2 to 3 tenths back on Levi, man, and there was just nothing I could do. I was searching for grip and trying to get him to get a run on him. And he wouldn't make a mistake at all. I thought, maybe he'll hit the wall out of 4 or get tight. And I mean, our lap times were just so even. So I saw Jesse pit behind me. He was a couple seconds back, but he pit, and I was like, well, I can't let him gain a tire advantage on me and close the gap on fresh tires. So I was like, well, I'm just going to go ahead and pit. And then the caution comes out, and I'm like, dang it. So I had to take the wave around and do it all over again. And by the time I got clear, the leaders were gone. They checked out, and there was just not enough track position. But all in all, I mean, it was a good race. We all knew it going into that last restart. Well, not the second. I guess the second to last restart, that it was getting ready to be chaotic when you got old tires, 2 tires, and 4 tires. I hate that, especially for my own teammate. I told him before we started on the restart, like, what I got to do to get past, but he also had to do the same thing, and it's just it's unfortunate for your teammate to get caught up in an incident. I mean, he deserved to win that race for sure, but timing's everything. So
timing is certainly everything. We appreciate you having your live look-in cam for us here today, and we see you have that motion rig. Tell us a little bit about how that affects your driving on a track like this at Nashville.
yeah, it's good to have a rig like this. Nashville, there's some pretty gnarly bumps out of 4. If you go back and watch the footage of the race, you can probably, if you guys watched me long enough on the camera, you can probably see it. But there's a good old hop and skip, like 3/4 mark in turn 4, and those types of things are good in a static rig. You can still feel it in your wheel, but in a motion rig, it just adds a whole different dynamic. The bumps on entry and certain tracks make it more difficult for braking and other things. But I kind of get used to it. I've had to adjust like some of my settings and stuff in the simulator and adjust to it. But it's just more information. We got race labs going and overlays and all this different stuff, lap times. It's almost like you got a crew chief on your screen, right? But for me, like, the motion stuff is just an extra. It's just more information, so it's beneficial for this track. Like, I can really feel the bumps, and where somebody might overlook that on a long run and say, oh, okay, I'm getting over this bump, it's not a big deal, I'll just keep driving. But sometimes those bumps, like in turn 3 and 4, it'll hop the car, skip the back end of the car, and then you'll probably get loose late run. And I have a very good sense of that early versus figuring it out late when you're trying to drive through that corner and your wheel twitches a little bit, but then you get loose, right? So but again, that information is definitely key for sure.
All right, Brandon, going to give you the floor. Who makes it work for you? Who do you have to thank?
Yeah, absolutely. I want to thank Lincoln Tech and Save 22. Appreciate having them on the car this year. Premier factory team. And I want to thank Cruisin Classics and the Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs.
Brandon Evans, race winner here in the final regular season race of the season. Congratulations once again.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks.
All right, Jeremy, you're standing alongside the second and third place finishers. First up of the bunch, though, is Patrick Drabick.
Yes, we are alongside the second place finisher, the 07 Save 22 machine of Patrick Drebeck, here tonight with our live looking cam as well for this interview. Appreciate you doing that for us tonight. Glad we could finally get you up here. Man, what a night of racing. You didn't lead any laps, but you found yourself coming home in second. You did that back to front challenge with your buddies there. So from 18th to second, pretty good run. It was a fun night of racing, a great green flag run to start the racing. That's one thing I really enjoy about GoatLocker Racing is the green flag racing really comes out and it really shows these drivers all, like, just shows the talent this field of drivers is. And what's it like from your point of view?
Man, that was a whole lot of fun, cutting up through the field, kind of following Brandon Evans up through there. I ended up burning up a lot of tire, battling a couple different people and kind of dropping back there and then, getting ready to hit that green flag stop and that caution came out. But it was a lot of fun racing all night long. And then getting to race up front with these guys like Levi and Jeremy. And man, I feel bad for Jeremy. I think he had that race locked up and just got caught up in some stuff and late race cautions and everything. So, but congratulations to Brandon on the win for sure.
Well, you find yourself in the playoffs. That's got to be a good feeling. Got to get ready to go for that. What are your expectations going to these next couple weeks?
Well, to win. I think that's why we all hit the track, right? To put the
Absolutely,
car in the
yep.
lane. So we'll see how the rounds kind of play out. I haven't taken a real good look at what the rounds look like and everything like that. I think we have Charlotte coming up, which is a very good track for me. So I'm looking forward to that. Great regular season here in this Save 22 car. A couple victories and a lot of podiums. So I couldn't be happier about the way the regular season went. And can't wait to get into these playoffs and battle with these guys for this championship this year.
And speaking of Save 22, who do you have to thank for getting you here this season?
Well, Jam Printing and Promotions, they've always been on the side of my car. They do a lot for us. They sponsor the Polo Award each and every series. So big shout out to Amber and the entire crew over there at Jam Printing and Promotions. Save 22, what an amazing organization, and John and Albert and everything that they're doing. So if you haven't checked them out, please do. Check out Tuesday Talks, on YouTube. It's at 10 a.m. Head over to their website, and if it's within your heart, please, you got a couple extra dollars, donate to them. They're doing a lot of really good things, and couldn't be more proud to be, partnered with those guys. You guys up in the broadcast booth, man, unsung heroes. I don't think anybody gives you enough credit for calling these races and doing the amazing job you get. Hey, and we had in-car cams this week, so that's cool. And then Alexander PCs, man. They've built every PC that we've given away to a veteran. The one for, our mobile sim, the one that I race on, and a couple guys within the league have bought PCs from them as well. They do amazing stuff. They're a veteran-owned business. But again, I'm super happy to get this 07 Chevy Camaro Save 22 car here with the second place finish. Shout out to my boy Jeremy, man. That's just a heartbreaker. He had that one without a couple, those shenanigans at the end. But good stuff here tonight, man, and can't wait to kick off these playoffs in 2 weeks.
Awesome stuff. We appreciate the kind words about the broadcast. Thank you so much for your time, and hopefully we'll talk to you in a few weeks. Have a great night, Patrick.
All right, brother. Be good.
Thank you. You as well. That was our second place finisher. And rounding out the podium tonight, I think he was spun around at one point during the event tonight, and it brought out a caution. And Jesse Winton, you find yourself coming home in third place in that awesome silver, black, and blue 94 this evening. You were the fastest lap tonight. Talk about your night, and man, what do you look forward to coming to the playoffs?
Man, tonight I was hoping for some more tire degradation a little bit earlier in the run like it was last season. Because last season I qualified terrible and just started picking people off like 30 laps into the run. Tonight it was like 40, 45 laps when we finally started losing some time, and just wasn't near enough to save like I thought we were. But at the end of the day, that caution with, what was it, 5-6 to go. I really don't know what happened. I don't know if I got sucked into the 60 car or if he if I came up off the wall. So I really don't. I went back and looked at my inputs. I wasn't turning. I wasn't doing anything weird, and just hooked me. I'm not mad at the 60. I'm just confused. But I mean, at the end of the day, we ended up coming down, taking 2 tires, and worked out a lot better than I thought it would. So I'd say overall a good night, good, decent little confidence boost, especially after having a little bit of a late race green, white checkered run, and go into the playoffs and hopefully get a few more practice laps in and be able to do something in the playoffs.
Awesome stuff. Well, we appreciate your time each and every week, and we're glad to have you back up here in the booth. That definitely feels like it's been a couple weeks. And who do you have to thank for getting you here? Yeah, who do you have to thank for getting you here tonight?
First and foremost, before anything else, my wife, my kids, they never complain whenever I come out here and do this. And I can't thank them enough for their love and support each and every race that I do, 2, 3, 4 times a week. And of course, I got to give a shout out to the sponsor that was on my hood, Nubwo. If you're looking for a good quality, cheap headset, wireless headset at that, check out Nubwo. They're available on Amazon. They're like $30-$40, and you charge them for 3 hours, you get like 60 or more hours of gameplay out of them. So go check them out if you're in the market for a new headset. Of course, I got to throw a shout out to Luke Haley Music, -273, iRacing, Above the Yellow Line, Sim Motion, and Nasties, and Cruisin Classics, and of course Maconi Setup Shop for supplying the setups this season for the Cup Series. And as always, you guys for putting on the show for us. I can't wait to go back and see how this one unfolded from your point of view.
There was definitely plenty of action, storylines all over the place. You were definitely part of the action. Appreciate your time, Jesse, and hopefully we'll speak to you again in a few weeks.
Absolutely. Y'all have a great rest of your night. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Well, that was your podium finishers here, and pretty much the playoff situation when we came into tonight is the playoff situation. We're leaving it. Brandon Evans, Jeremy Gardner, Patrick Drabick, Jesse Whittington, Eddie Smith, Ryan Pendleton, Jason Taylor, Timothy Wilms, Levi McCarty, Charles Stevens, Michael Bennett, and George Jewell unofficially are your playoff competitors when we go to Charlotte. We have a week off, though. We're not going to be racing next Wednesday night, so enjoy the break before we get going with 5 straight weeks of playoff racing before the championship race on May 7th at Texas Motor Speedway. Remember, round of 12 is 2 races, round of 8 is 2 races, championship 4 race is that one singular race. From myself and Jeremy Briggs, Howie Burrows, I'm Dylan Coyle. You've been watching GoatLocker Racing on Maconi Entertainment. We'll see you in a couple weeks' times for the next edition of GoatLocker Racing Cruisin Classics Wednesday Next Gen Series action. Good night and good racing.